Did Rapsodo just make expensive launch monitors irrelevant overnight? With their latest update, the MLM2 Pro can now accurately measure two crucial metrics, both club path and angle of attack, something that only high-priced launch monitors could ever do. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what's new, where the competition now stands, and why this big easy update may have just made the MLM2 Pro golf's most affordable launch monitor to buy right now. So let's do this. Alright, so let's break this thing down. What this update really means to golfers. It used to be so simple. If you wanted club data, you had to pay a ton of money for it. But Rapsodo has changed all the math with its latest firmware and app update, because now the MLM2 Pro can directly measure two of the most sought after metrics in golf, club path and angle of attack. Now, I'm not talking about just estimates, I'm not talking about projections, I'm talking about measured. It's using both Doppler radar and its dual camera system. And what's crazy is that it's doing all of this on a launch monitor that only costs $699. And I know what you're thinking. Club data has existed in the sub-thousand space before, but this was until the Square came along. And it was always estimated. And while the Square does measure these metrics, it's limited to indoor use only. So that makes the MLM2 Pro the only launch monitor in this price class that would work both indoors and outdoors while delivering directly measured club path and angle attack. Now, this is a big deal. The reason club path and angle attack are so exciting is that these numbers are the actual things we need to legitimately get better in golf. Like, this is the good stuff. There are plenty of golf data metrics that I can even barely understand, but these are the bread and butter metrics that make all the difference. Club path tells you the direction of the club head is moving at the moment it hits the ball. Is it traveling in to out or out to in, square down the line? Now that's the information that you can combine with the ball flight, and you can start to see and understand why you're getting the shot shapes that you're getting. Look guys, I'm not a golf teaching professional. I'm not even trying to pretend to be one, and I'm not gonna give you a golf lesson, but this is all the stuff that you should take the time to learn, because once you do, I really do think it's gonna help you improve your game. See, angle of attack is all about the steepness. It tells you whether you're hitting up or down on the ball and by how much. It's one of those metrics that for a lot of golfers, it's one of the numbers they pay the most attention to constantly. And now with the MLM2 Pro, you're not guessing, you're not estimating. And if you don't have an indoor golf simulator studio, you're getting all these numbers for about $700. And that includes when you're outdoors. But the real question is, where does competition now stand? So the sub $1,000 launch monitor world has always been a balancing act. If you push too far in one direction, more data, more visuals, more portability, you usually give up something else. That's how it's always been, but that was until now. And the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro was already navigating that trade-off game better than most. But now that it's directly measuring club path and angle of attack, the whole balance has shifted. But let's kind of talk about where the rest of the field stands right now. First up is one of my favorite launch monitors, the Garmin R10. I've done a ton of videos about this because it offers a ton of data and it's relatively cheap. It's still cool even since it came out in like 2021, but it's important to understand that more of the data on the R10, including club path and angle attack, are all derived from algorithms based on the measured data. Next up is the Swing Caddie SC4 Pro. Now the SC4 Pro is a great launch monitor. It has a nice screen and does an awesome job covering all the ball data. You get pretty much all the usual suspect data points, and it's super easy to use. But here's the thing, it doesn't give you club data. No club path, no angle of attack, nothing to show what your club is doing through the ball. So while it's a great pick for getting numbers like distance and spin and speed, it's not gonna give you as much information about why the ball is doing what it's doing. Or more specifically, what in your swing is causing that to happen. Now that's a big distinction, especially now that the MLM2 Pro does give you that insight. Okay, next up is the Square launch monitor. Now this stands out by directly measuring club path and angle attack. It's a camera-based system, and it's the first of its kind that's actually less than $1,000. So I'm definitely not talking trash or saying you shouldn't buy it, but if you want to go outside to the range, you can't do that with a Square. It's indoor use only. So the MLM2 Pro definitely has a leg up on its versatility. It's an option for either inside or outside. And the other thing is the Square is far from perfect. And look, to be fair, no launch monitor is perfect, but it lacks certain metrics like club head speed and smash factor, which a lot of golfers rely on as important numbers for their own analysis. So what does this all mean when it comes to the MLM2 Pro's position in the market? So with the integration of directly measured club path and angle of attack, the MLM2 Pro is now distinguishing itself as the only launch monitor under $1,000 that offers direct measurement of all these key metrics. It's functional both indoor and outdoor. It has a combination of both a Doppler radar and a dual camera technology. It has an app interface that has video playback. So in the end, this combo features the MLM2 Pro as the tool that golfers are kind of want to use to go deeper in their swing. Basically, this one's a big win for the golf data nerds out there like you and me, especially if you're on a budget. But in the end, why does this update actually matter? So launch monitors usually don't jump levels like this without raising the price a lot. And guys, I haven't even talked about a couple of the other updates that Rapsodo recently made, plus all the other improvements it's done that they made in the last couple of years. They've actually improved the MLM2 Pro a bunch, but they've kept the price the same. And now they're keeping it at $699 even still with this huge update. So to me, that's pretty cool. But $700 is still $700. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to use a launch monitor only indoors. So to be able to use the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro, both indoors and outdoors, and get all those club metrics, it's simply amazing. Now, one quick word on the setup you just have to know. When you're trying to measure club data, alignment matters a ton with the Rapsodo. So Rapsodo addressed that too, and while it's subtle changes, it makes a big difference. So when you actually set this thing up, you're gonna see a level indicator that helps you make sure that the unit is flat. That's crucial. If the unit is tilting or it's off, your numbers are going to be off a little bit too. And there's another addition. The 2-zone alignment boxes that we've all seen before, you're now gonna see a large yellow box for ball data and a smaller orange box for club data plus ball data. So if you want the numbers, your ball has to be in the orange box. That box is smaller, so it can be a little tricky, especially if you're outdoors and the ground's kind of like not even and you're moving the ball around because of divots. So you get the idea. So you might want to put down a marker or some kind so you always kind of know where that orange box is located in the zone. It's manageable and you're gonna be fine, so don't worry about that. But I wanna let you guys know about that because if you don't do that, you're gonna be like, what's up with this data? So why could this really be a turning point when it comes to budget golf launch monitors? There's something kind of exciting about seeing the budget golf world take a leap like this. Because for a long time, it felt like that space was stuck. Everyone's fighting for the sub $1,000 market. They all do the same thing. So what's gonna differentiate them? And honestly, the options were not that good. Not really changing all that much. By now, we're starting to see some real action. The square was a big one. Now, I just got mine, and I plan to do a whole bunch more testing around it. But with the MLM2 Pro, it's the next big thing in this recent wave. And don't get me wrong, the MLM2 Pro isn't the only device trying to push things forward. But the whole indoor-outdoor thing, it might be the most complete of the sub $1,000 market. And what makes this update stand out is how it actually breaks that mold. You're getting directly measured club metrics on a $700 unit. That's not a small upgrade. That's a huge upgrade. That's kind of a category shift. Is every golfer going to care about that? Probably not. And that's fine. But for the ones who do, the players who are really trying to understand why they suck, what their swing is doing, like me, it means they finally have a chance to kind of use a tool that's going to help them out the range, and it's going to help them if they're able to play indoors. The other thing is that Rapsodo has proven that they're going to actually be staying on top of these improvements and be updating the unit. They made their whole user experience better. And they just added GS Pro. If you have a gaming computer, you can now use that indoors or outdoors if you really want, and it'll look pretty sick. So that's cool too. But in the end, who is this for? If you're just looking for a distance readout or want something super plug and play, then the MLM2 Pro might actually be more than you're gonna need. There are simpler, cheaper launch monitors that'll give you the basics. The Garmin R10, one of my personal favorites. But if you're the type of person who wants to learn more and try to self-diagnose and make some corrections, then the MLM2 Pro might have just become a no-brainer. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this one. If you can do me a favor, can you like and comment down below? What launch monitor are you using? Have you used the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro? I would just love to know. But if you guys want to see what the best golf watch that's not a golf watch is for this year, then you have to check out this video right here. And I'll see you on the course.